Hi, I'm Erica, and today's my 35th birthday. I'm doing this not because I want to gloat about how wonderful my 35 years of life have been, because they have been so incredibly wonderful. I feel like I've accomplished so much in my personal life, and I feel like I've touched so many lives in a positive way, hopefully more so than in a negative way. I have two amazing dogs. Literally, my husband is like my ride or die, like my best friend. And that doesn't necessarily have to mean that you're perfect together, because there's not perfection. There's only striving to be a better person. But that one thing that's really, there's a checklist you think you have to go through in life. Well, there's a pressure put on you by society and by yourself to complete like your circle. Nick and I have been going through that for almost 9 years already. And, every birthday I wish for it. Sorry. Every Christmas, every Mother's Day, every Father's Day. It's hard. Even though it's been 9 years, and there's a lot of women that I feel can attest to it, because I'm really open about my struggle. Because I think it's important, first and foremost, for my mental health to be open about it. But I think it's also important for other people to hear that other people struggle. It's something that happens. It's a part of life. And more women go through it than you would think. So for me, it's really important to be vocal about it. But that doesn't take away from the fact that it still stings a little bit, especially when you want those two little pink lines on the pregnancy test. And we've gotten them before. It was just short-lived. I would say I'm 35, and that's the gift that I would trade everything. We haven't gotten that goal that we want, that will complete what we want in life. It's not education or a certain career path or an award like that. It's not fulfilling for me. For me, I want to be a mom. And don't get me wrong, like my life and the people who do love me and who understand me, I feel so blessed to have a partner that rides this wave with me, because it's a wave. It's not just something that like you push back. It's just like this ache in your soul that just doesn't go away. Those are the kind of things that I feel like people don't realize that people who are struggling are going through. Not that they need to stop and only care about that person's feelings, but easy to forget what other people are going through behind a picture, a social media account. After being poked and prodded and like asked so many personal questions every time you start a new doctor, and it's good, right? Because infertility from 9 years ago, I'm telling you, it's advanced so much. And before, when I first started this, somebody could have told me, you need to eat this dog poop and you're gonna get pregnant. I would have eaten the dog poop. This one medication that I took, it was tested at the time, and I'm like, yeah. They told me, oh, but we've seen results. Yeah, sure, I'll take it. I don't care. Behind like a smile of a person in a picture, like there's people that are going through hard times and are struggling, and in all aspects of life, not just infertility. It's okay that people don't understand that I want to be a mom, because that's my wish, and it's nobody else's wish. It's just mine and my husband's, and that's the goal that we want to have. In saying this, I also want to let people know that I think people like me, like, we're so vulnerable in the fact that we don't want people to like pity us, that we rather just kind of deal with it a different way. But within doing that, it gives people the wrong message, I think. And we've lost friends. We've missed out on so many different like family functions throughout the years, not just recently. To us, it's normal, you know. It doesn't sting any less that we're not able to do those things. It's because we're putting our want and something that was easier to come by for other people first. And sometimes people don't understand that. And like I said, that's okay. To others, it doesn't seem normal. It might seem selfish. But I'm grateful that I'm at where I'm at, because there's people who are like way far worse. Like the battle isn't lost, you know? But it is, you know, with me being 35 and things that are just happening, it is a little bit harder and it is a little bit more difficult. And it is a different set of emotions, because it's not the same from when I was 25, 26 years old. 25 or 26, it was emotional in a different way, because it kind of felt like, dang, like I failed as a woman, you know, like I'm supposed to have all these, be able to just get pregnant because, you know, I'm healthy and I'm 25, and it was a new type of disappointment. But now that I'm 35, it's kind of like my clock is ticking. But for me, I don't feel like that. I just feel kind of like empowered, and it makes me feel that I want to get more educated on my life, on what I consume, on how I spend my energy, on who I spend my energy, on who I'm going to guide through this journey and who doesn't deserve to be guided through my journey. Especially after coming back from overseas, like lived it up, because fertility doctors to us were not very attainable over there. We made the decision that we were going to focus on being overseas and the opportunity that we had. But we wanted to come back so bad, because our whole thing is, oh, we want to be near our family. But once we came over here and the reality set in that like, hey, we also wanted to come over here because we're trying to have a baby. We got this incredible doctor, and he pretty much was like, are you all in or not? Because I need you to be all in. And of course I'm all in. The tests that he runs on me are just like, oh, I never thought of that. Wow. Like if only I would have known that prior to. And we're finding out so many things. And also emotional, because you're just like, if I would have known that in the beginning and I would have said, yeah, please test for that, then I could have tackled this earlier before another onset of issues came through. The past couple months, we've just had to deal with like bad and good news, and like so many tears, like, and it really like puts a damper on your mental health. And I don't like think that people really like realize how much infertility like impacts your life. Like this isn't just, oh, I'm one in whatever the statistic is nowadays. Like I don't want to be a statistic. I want to dictate my own life, but at the same time, to a degree, I understand what it's like to be a part of the infertility club. It truly teaches you the true meaning of patience, of being patient in what's supposed to come to you in your life. Throughout the years, we've learned not to like wince at all those rude comments that people make. And by rude, I mean, oh, you better have a baby. Your clock's ticking. And it's like, ooh, you B word. Sometimes it's better to just be like, all right, yeah, you're right, you know? Or have to come up with like quick comebacks. Like you constantly have to be like, ooh, if somebody tells me this is what I'm going to say. So that way it combats that feeling of hurt. I think the worst part though is like forgiving the people that don't understand the pain and sacrifice that you have to go through to have a baby. Especially those people that already had kids or have kids, because it was easy for them, right? Like to them, it's easy to say, oh yeah, just relax, honey. It's going to happen. It's like, let me tell you something, lady. When the doctor's telling you that you need to do something at a certain time, that's not relaxing. When you're being poked and prodded and then you're expected to do something else in order to have a baby, that's not relaxing, nerve-wracking. And it becomes this thing in your head that it's like, well, if you're going to do that, then the end result has to be a baby. And you have to constantly like communicate with your partner or get away from home, because it became this like place where you have to produce a child. That's the part that's hardest. Not losing yourself in this. It's not losing sight of your goal without losing yourself. This isn't the same as, I'm going to make it a goal that I'm going to graduate college. I'm going to make it a goal that I'm going to get this job, that I'm going to get this house, that I'm going to get this car. This is a goal that, like, I have no control over. We have no control over this. We don't have control over when we can or can't produce a child. But when you're infertile and you want a child, there's no choice. There's just science and God, lots of God. So forgiving people who don't understand the pain and sacrifice that you're going through, that comes from like a really deep place in there, because there's a lot of frustration behind not losing yourself, keeping sight of your goal, juggling a marriage. I mean, it's definitely not the same from the people that we were when we first started dating. But I'm grateful for that in a way too, because I feel like it's strengthened my relationship with my husband. And we have a bond that like other people don't really have. I'm trying to get through this without like crying. This is just something that like, this is my natural reaction to it when I really get like into the nitty gritty of it, because it's just 9 years of like emotion. And if this could help anybody, slightest bit of understanding with somebody else, then I'll put my vulnerabilities out there. It is what it is. The hardest, most important thing that my husband and I have learned from this is to love a little baby that isn't here yet, but that one day is going to be here. Adapting your life to saying, I'm going to be pregnant, I'm going to have a baby. It's going to happen, like soon. You love this baby who's not here. You love that idea of having that baby, of this like bin of stuff, of just stuff that I bought throughout the 9 years when I thought I was pregnant, when I lost a baby, when I thought I was going to get pregnant again, going overseas. Oh, you know what? I'm going to buy this for that baby that I'm going to have. Just pouring out your love to something that physically is not here yet. That box contains so many different emotions. It's like your hopes, your dreams, but also like your pain and your sorrow. And I guess this is like I'm coming out and telling you how I feel about this whole situation, because I think people like kind of like tiptoe around me and Nick. You know, I'm 35 today and this is who I am. It hurts. It just does. But at the same time, I'm just hopeful. I'm just so hopeful. And I'm just such a believer in like God. And I am just so thankful that I do have the support system that I do. Just be kind to anybody who's going through a struggle, because you don't know how much that your opinion, you don't know if that person's just teetering off the edge. Don't make people feel bad over their situation already, because it's just not necessary. It doesn't bring any kindness to the world, and you're probably hurting somebody more than you would think. But this is my birthday, and I want to give this to the world, or to whoever's going to listen. I'm probably not where I thought I was going to be in certain ways of my life, but I sure have come a long way from the 25-year-old girl who just found out that she had infertility issues. If 35-year-old me could tell 25-year-old me, you know what? By 35, you're still not going to be pregnant, but you're going to be okay. And your relationship is going to thrive. And the people who love you are going to love you more. And you're going to lose people along the way. But guess what? Your life is going to be full. And everything's going to be good. And just keep hold of that hope. If I could tell that to my 25-year-old me, I feel like I would have avoided so much like unnecessary heartbreak. I hope this video helps somebody understand. I hope if you're going through this, it helps you in some kind of way, and it motivates you a little bit to believe in yourself, to not lose hope for something that you can manifest in your life, and something that maybe you don't have control over. As long as in your brain you can dream, then it can happen one way or another. So like my mug says, do it for you, not for them.